On August 20, 2025, the world lost a remarkable figure. Judge Frank Caprio, often called the world's nicest judge, passed away at the age of 88. The cause of death was pancreatic cancer, a battle he faced with courage and dignity in his final years. His family released a heartfelt statement announcing his passing, describing him as a man whose warmth, humor, and kindness left an indelible mark on everyone who knew him. For millions around the globe who admired his work, Frank Caprio was far more than a judge. He was a symbol of fairness, compassion, and humanity in the justice system. Born on November 24, 1936, in Providence, Rhode Island, Francesco Frank Caprio grew up in a humble neighborhood. His parents were Italian immigrants, and their values of hard work, faith, and community shaped the person he became. From a young age, Frank understood what it meant to struggle and what it meant to care for others. His upbringing in a working-class family gave him a deep sense of connection with ordinary people, something that would later define his approach as a judge. Before pursuing law, Caprio served in the United States military, an experience that instilled in him discipline, resilience, and a sense of responsibility to his country. After completing his service, he continued his education, working hard to achieve what many thought was impossible for a young man from his background. He studied diligently, earned his law degree, and began practicing as a lawyer. His dedication to serving the community soon pushed him toward public service. Caprio's political and legal journey eventually led him to become the chief judge of the Providence Municipal Court. For nearly 4 decades, he presided over cases that ranged from traffic violations to minor criminal offenses. While many judges might see these cases as routine or unimportant, Caprio brought something extraordinary to the courtroom. He was fair and firm, but always infused his decisions with compassion and understanding. He believed that the courtroom should not only be a place of rules but also a place of humanity. This philosophy made him different. When people came before him, often nervous or embarrassed about minor offenses, Caprio listened with patience. He asked about their families, their struggles, their daily lives. He wanted to know the person behind the case. And this human touch, combined with humor and kindness, made his courtroom unforgettable. His unique style caught public attention when his reality TV show, Court in Providence, was created. The show featured real cases from his courtroom in Providence, Rhode Island. What started as a local program soon turned into a global phenomenon. With the rise of social media and YouTube, clips from his courtroom went viral. Millions of people watched as Judge Caprio interacted with defendants in ways that often brought smiles, laughter, and sometimes tears. There were moments when he forgave fines because a person was struggling to feed their family. There were times when he gave advice to young people, encouraging them to pursue education and stay on the right path. His rulings balanced justice with mercy, and viewers felt inspired by his kindness. This was why he became known as the world's nicest judge. Clips of Judge Caprio spread across platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, reaching audiences who had never stepped foot in Rhode Island. People from different countries and cultures connected with his message, that justice can be firm but also compassionate. In one case, a single mother struggling with bills broke down in tears when he reduced her fines. In another, a child appeared in court with her father, and Caprio asked her to help decide the case, turning an intimidating moment into a heartwarming memory. These cases showed the world that kindness in leadership matters. Behind the fame, Judge Caprio remained committed to his community. He often spoke about the importance of education, believing it was the key to opportunity. He supported scholarships and encouraged students to strive for success. His role as chairman of the Rhode Island Board of Governors for Higher Education reflected his commitment to learning and helping future generations. His philosophy was simple yet profound: justice should never lose its humanity. He often said that every person who came before him was more than just a case file. They were a human being with struggles, dreams, and dignity. This philosophy not only won him fans but also restored faith in the legal system for many who had lost trust in institutions of power. In 2022, Judge Caprio publicly revealed that he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Rather than keeping his illness private, he chose to share his journey openly. He asked for prayers, goodwill, and support from the public. His openness showed his courage and his belief in community. Fans from around the world responded with heartfelt messages, expressing gratitude for his work and sending love during his battle. Even as he faced one of life's toughest challenges, he remained strong, positive, and deeply connected with the people who admired him. When the news of his death broke on August 20, 2025, reactions poured in from across the globe. His family released an emotional statement honoring his life and legacy, calling him a man whose humor and kindness touched countless lives. In Rhode Island, officials paid tribute by lowering flags to half-staff in his honor. Local leaders remembered him not just as a judge but as a pillar of the community. On social media, tributes flooded in. Clips of his most memorable courtroom moments were shared again, reminding the world of the judge who always found time to listen, smile, and uplift. Fans described him as the judge who made us believe in humanity again and a man who showed that kindness has power. Even after his passing, Judge Caprio's influence continues to resonate. His courtroom became a symbol of fairness and dignity, proving that even in a system designed to enforce rules, there is always room for empathy. His legacy reminds us that small acts of kindness, a smile, a forgiving gesture, a moment of understanding, can make a lifelong impact. His family requested that those who wish to honor him do so by practicing compassion in their daily lives. They reminded the world that Frank Caprio's greatest wish was for people to treat each other with respect, to be fair, and to live with kindness. As we look back on his life, the story of Frank Caprio is not just the story of a judge, it is the story of a man who used his position to bring out the best in others. From a humble childhood in Providence to becoming a global symbol of compassion, his journey was extraordinary. He taught the world that leadership does not have to be harsh to be effective, that justice can coexist with mercy, and that treating people with dignity is the highest form of service. Today, as millions remember him, the message is clear: Frank Caprio's example will live on. His rulings may have ended, but the lessons he left behind continue to inspire. He reminded us that in a world often filled with division, there is still space for kindness. His humor, his wisdom, and his compassion will never be forgotten. Judge Frank Caprio lived for 88 years, but his legacy will endure far longer. He was the judge who showed us that laws are meant to guide us, but humanity is meant to unite us. In remembering his death, we celebrate his life. And through every act of fairness and compassion, his spirit will live on.